Welcome to my channel. Let me ask you something strange. Have you ever noticed that you feel like a different person when you speak English? Not just your accent, not just your words, but you. Your confidence feels different. Your voice feels different. Even your emotions feel different. Sometimes, when you speak English, you feel more confident. You feel modern. You feel smart. But sometimes, you feel shy. You feel slow. You feel scared to speak. And sometimes, you feel very serious. No jokes. No emotions. Just careful words. Now think about this. In your own language, you can laugh easily. You can argue. You can express anger, love, happiness, and pain. But in English, everything feels limited. Your personality feels smaller. So the question is not about English anymore. The real question is about you. Why does this happen? Why does one language make you feel free, and another language make you feel blocked? Are you becoming someone else when you speak English? Or is English showing you a hidden part of yourself? Many English learners feel this, but they never talk about it. They think something is wrong with them. They think they are weak. They think they are not confident people. But listen carefully. This feeling is not a problem. It is a signal. It is your brain adjusting. It is your identity growing. It is your personality learning a new voice. English does not just teach words. English touches your mind. English touches your emotions. English touches how you see yourself. And this is why learning English feels so personal. This is why it sometimes hurts. This is why it sometimes excites you. In today's lesson, we will not talk about grammar rules. We will not talk about difficult vocabulary. We will talk about you. We will talk about why your personality changes. Why fear appears. Why confidence disappears. And most importantly, how you can find your real self while speaking English. Stay with me till the end. Because by the end of this lesson, you will stop blaming yourself, you will stop feeling confused, and you will finally understand what is really happening inside your mind when you speak English. Chapter 1. Why you feel like a different person when you speak English. When you speak English and feel like a different person, the first thing you must understand is this: nothing is wrong with you. You are not broken. You are not weak. And you are not strange. What you are experiencing is completely normal. To understand this, we must first understand one simple truth. Language is not just words. Language is emotion. Language is memory. Language is identity. Your first language is not something you learned from a book. You did not study it. You lived it. You learned it while playing as a child. You learned it while listening to your parents. You learned it while laughing, crying, fighting, and dreaming. That language grew with you. It grew with your feelings. It grew with your personality. That is why, in your first language, you feel free. You joke easily. You express anger easily. You show love easily. You can be loud, funny, emotional, or serious, naturally. You don't think about grammar. You don't think about mistakes. You don't think about how you sound. You just speak. And you are fully yourself. Now let's talk about English. English did not come into your life the same way. English came through school. Through classrooms. Through exams. Through marks. Through correction. English came with pressure. English came with fear of mistakes. English came with comparison. From the beginning, English was not about expression. It was about being right or wrong. So your brain learned something very important. It learned that English is dangerous. Dangerous not in a real way, but in an emotional way. When you speak English, your brain switches to a different mode. A careful mode. A protective mode. In this mode, your brain says, be careful. Don't make mistakes. Don't look foolish. Think before you speak. This is why your personality changes. You feel less emotional because emotions need freedom. And English does not feel free yet. You feel more formal because formality feels safe. Simple emotions feel risky. You feel more careful because your brain is protecting you from embarrassment. And sometimes, you feel less confident because confidence comes from familiarity, not intelligence. Let me give you a simple example. In your own language, you can joke easily. You can make fun of yourself. You can tease your friends. But in English, you suddenly become quiet. You think, what if my joke is wrong? What if people don't understand me? So you stay silent. Another example. Inside your mind, you feel intelligent. You have good ideas. You have opinions. But when you try to speak them in English, your words come slowly. You stop. You restart. You forget simple words. And then you think, maybe I am not smart. But that thought is a lie. Your thoughts are fast. Your English is still learning. The problem is not your intelligence. The problem is the language channel. Think of it like this. Imagine you are a great singer. But someone gives you a broken microphone. Your voice will sound weak. Does that mean you can't sing? No. It means the tool is not ready yet. English is still a new tool for your personality. So your brain does something very human. It reduces emotion. It reduces risk. It reduces expression. Not because you are weak, but because you are learning. This is normal brain behavior. Every human being feels this when they speak a new language. Even confident people. Even successful people. The difference is that some people understand this process, and some people blame themselves. I don't want you to blame yourself. You are not losing your personality. Your personality is adjusting. You are not becoming boring. You are becoming careful. And careful is not a bad thing in the beginning. But here is the most important part. This phase is temporary. As English becomes familiar, as mistakes stop feeling dangerous, as your brain relaxes, your emotions will return. Your humor will return. Your confidence will return. Not because you changed, but because English stopped feeling like a threat. So remember this clearly. When you feel different in English, it does not mean you are fake. It does not mean you are weak. It means your brain is doing its job. And now comes a very important question. If English can change how you act, if it can make you quiet, careful, or confident, then the next question is not about English anymore. The next question is, who are you really? Chapter 2, The Hidden Fear Behind the Personality Change. In the last chapter, you learned something very important. You learned that when your personality changes in English, it is not a problem. It is a natural reaction of the brain. Now let's go deeper. Because behind this change, there is something powerful. something quiet, something invisible. That thing is fear. Fear controls personality more than we realize. And in a new language, fear becomes very strong. When you speak English, you are not only choosing words. You are facing many fears at the same time. Fear of making mistakes. Fear of being judged. Fear of sounding foolish. Fear of being laughed at. Even if no one is laughing, your mind imagines it. Even if no one is judging, your heart feels it. So before you speak, your brain asks a question. Is it safe? If the answer feels like no, your personality changes. This is where the brain switches to what we call survival mode. Survival mode is not logical. It is emotional. Your brain is not thinking about confidence or fluency. It is thinking about protection. In survival mode, the brain says, stay quiet. Don't take risks. Don't show too much. And this is why certain things disappear when you speak English. Your natural humor disappears. Because jokes are risky. Your emotions disappear. Because emotions make you vulnerable. Your confidence disappears. Because confidence needs safety. So you become quiet. You become serious. You start overthinking every word. You think before speaking. You think while speaking. You think after speaking. And this thinking makes you tired. Let me tell you a simple story. Imagine a person who is very confident in their own language. They tell stories. They make people laugh. They speak without fear. Now imagine the same person in an English conversation. They sit quietly. They listen more. They speak only when asked. Their voice becomes soft. People think this person is shy. But the truth is different. This person is not shy. This person is protecting themselves. Their brain knows one thing. Mistakes in English feel dangerous. Not because mistakes are bad, but because mistakes feel personal. Every mistake feels like proof that I am not good enough. And this is where the real problem begins. Fluency is not blocked by grammar. Fluency is blocked by self-image. If you see yourself as a bad speaker, your brain will act like one. If you see yourself as a learner, your brain will allow growth. But many learners don't see themselves as learners. They see themselves as failures. They think, I should be better by now. I sound stupid. People are judging me. These thoughts create fear. And fear controls behavior. That is why some people know a lot of English, but cannot speak. Their knowledge is there. Their confidence is not. This is not a language problem. This is a psychological problem. And the most painful part is this. Learners blame their personality. They say, I am shy. They say, I am introverted. But the truth is much kinder. You are not shy. You are careful. You are not weak. You are aware. You are not silent. You are protecting your identity. When you understand this, something changes inside you. You stop fighting yourself. You stop forcing confidence. You stop hating your voice. And when fear reduces, personality returns naturally. Confidence is not built by pushing. Confidence is built by safety. And English becomes safe when you stop attacking yourself. Now think about this carefully. If fear is the real reason behind the personality change, if survival mode is blocking your real self, then the most important question is not, how can I speak more? The real question is, how do we find our real self again in English? That is exactly what we will talk about next. Chapter 3, How English Slowly Builds a Second Personality. Now let's go even deeper into something very important that most learners never understand. And because they don't understand it, they start judging themselves. They think something is wrong with their English. Or worse, something is wrong with them. But today, you will see the truth clearly. Every language creates a new voice inside your brain. Not a new soul. Not a new identity. But a new expression system. When you speak your first language, your brain feels completely natural. Because it has used that language since childhood. It has thousands of emotional memories attached to it. Laughter, arguments, stories, friendships, family moments, all of them are connected to that language. But when you speak English, something different happens. Your brain is now using a new system. A system that is still growing. And this is why it feels like you have a second personality. But let's understand this in a very simple way. Think about when you learned to walk as a child. You did not walk perfectly on the first day. You were unbalanced. You were slow. You fell many times. But nobody said, "This child is not a good walker." Because everyone knew this is part of learning. Now think about learning to drive for the first time. You were nervous. You were overthinking. You were checking mirrors again and again. Your hands were not relaxed. But that did not mean you were a bad driver. It meant you were a beginner. English works in exactly the same way. When you speak English, your brain creates a new version of you. This version is still learning how to express emotions. Still learning how to respond naturally. Still learning how to react without thinking too much. That is why this English personality feels different. It feels younger because it has less experience. It has not lived enough conversations yet. It has not laughed enough, argued enough, or expressed enough feelings in English. It feels less mature because maturity in language comes from usage, not age. You cannot rush maturity. You build it through practice. And it feels less expressive because expression needs comfort. And comfort comes with repetition. Now listen carefully. This is not a fake personality. It is not a false version of you. It is a growing personality. And growth always feels uncomfortable at the beginning. A small child learning to speak sounds unclear at first. But nobody calls it fake speech. Everyone calls it development. English personality is exactly the same. It is your brain slowly building a new way to express your thoughts. A new emotional channel. A new communication style. And here is something very important to understand. Personality does not grow with perfection. It grows with experience. You do not become confident in English by studying rules only. You become confident by using English in real-life situations. Every small interaction matters. When you speak one sentence in English today, you are training your brain. When you make a mistake and continue speaking, you are teaching your brain resilience. When you express a simple idea, you are shaping your English personality. And slowly, something beautiful happens. Your confidence starts building. Not suddenly, but step by step. Your emotions start entering English. At first, small emotions. Then stronger emotions. Your speech starts flowing more naturally. Not perfectly, but smoothly. This is how language personality grows. Now here is something very important. Many learners think they have a bad English personality. But that is not true. There is no bad personality. There is only an underdeveloped personality in that language. And that can always grow. Now let's make this even more powerful. Every time you speak English, even a single sentence, you are giving strength to your second personality. Every word you speak builds confidence. Every mistake you survive builds courage. Every conversation builds identity. And this process never stops. The more you use English, the more natural your English personality becomes. It starts feeling less foreign, less forced, more like you. And one day, you will notice something surprising. You are no longer thinking in your first language and translating. You are thinking directly in English. You are feeling in English. You are reacting in English. And in that moment, you realize something very powerful. You did not lose yourself. You expanded yourself. You did not create a fake personality. You developed a new version of your expression. Now the most important question remains. If English is building a second personality, if that personality is growing every time you speak, then how do you bring your real self fully into English? So how do you find your real self in English? Let me show you. Chapter 4. How to find yourself while speaking English. Now we reach the most important part of this entire journey. Everything you have learned so far, fear, personality change, silence, overthinking, confidence loss, now comes together in one simple truth. You are not losing yourself in English. You are just learning how to bring yourself into English. And to do that, the first and most important step is this: stop copying native speakers' personalities. This is where many learners get confused. They watch fluent speakers. They listen to podcasts. They watch movies. And slowly, without realizing it, they start thinking, I should sound like them. I should behave like them. I should be confident like them. But this creates pressure. Because you are not them. And you are not supposed to be them. Native speakers are not a target personality. They are just people who grew up with English from childhood. They are expressing their natural identity, not performing one. You must do the same, but in your own way. Speak English with your own emotions. If you are a soft person, be soft in English. If you are thoughtful, be thoughtful in English. If you are expressive, be expressive in English. Do not copy tone. Do not copy attitude. Do not copy personality. Because when you copy others, you disconnect from yourself. And English becomes acting instead of expressing. Now let's move to something practical. First step, think simple thoughts. One of the biggest reasons learners struggle is not lack of vocabulary, but complicated thinking. They try to build perfect sentences in their mind before speaking. They overthink grammar. They overanalyze structure. And this creates pressure. But fluency does not come from complexity. Fluency comes from clarity. Instead of thinking big and complicated ideas, think small and clear thoughts. For example, I am happy. I am tired. I like this. I don't understand. Simple thinking removes fear. Because your brain feels safe with simple ideas. And when your brain feels safe, Your mouth starts speaking naturally. Second step, use personal stories. Your real personality is not hidden in grammar books. It is hidden in your life. Talk about your real experiences. Your day. Your feelings. Your small moments. For example, I went outside today. I saw something interesting. I felt nervous in a situation. These simple sentences are powerful because they are real. And when something is real, your personality naturally comes out. English becomes alive when it carries your life inside it. Third step, speak slowly without shame. This is very important. Many learners believe fast speaking means good English. But that is not true. Fast speaking without control creates confusion. Slow speaking with awareness creates confidence. When you speak slowly, you stay connected to your thoughts. You stay connected to your emotions. You stay connected to yourself. There is no shame in speaking slowly. Because fluency is not speed. Fluency is comfort. Now let's talk about mistakes. You must understand this deeply. Mistakes do not damage your identity. But shame does. When you make a mistake and feel calm, you learn. When you make a mistake and insult yourself, you shrink. So allow mistakes. Let them exist. Do not turn them into identity problems. Say the wrong word. Pause. Correct yourself. Move forward. This is real learning. Now let's talk about confidence. Confidence does not come from perfect English. Confidence comes from three simple things. First, acceptance. Accept where you are today. Do not fight your level. Do not compare your journey. Second, consistency. Speak English a little every day. Even one sentence matters. Even one mistake matters. Because every small step builds your identity. Third, self-respect. Never insult yourself for trying. Never call yourself bad or not good enough. Because the way you treat yourself shapes your confidence. Now listen carefully to this. Your English does not need to sound perfect. It needs to sound like you. This is the heart of everything. Because perfection kills personality. But expression builds it. Now here is the final truth. English is not changing who you are. English is not replacing your personality. English is not turning you into someone else. English is giving you another way to express who you already are. Another voice. Another channel. Another identity. And when you stop fighting English and start using it as expression, something beautiful happens. You stop performing. You start being. And one day, without even realizing it, you will speak English naturally. You will express emotions freely. You will laugh, joke, and talk without fear. And in that moment, you will understand something powerful. You were never two different people. You were always one person, learning how to speak in two languages. If this lesson helped you understand yourself better, if it made English feel more human, more natural, and less scary for you, then don't just leave this video without taking a small action. Please like this video. It may seem simple, but it truly supports this channel and motivates me to create more lessons like this for learners who are trying every day. Subscribe to the channel for more simple, clear, and powerful English lessons that not only teach you language, but also help you understand your mind, your confidence, and your real personality when speaking English. And now I want to hear from you. Take a moment and write in the comment section below. When you speak English, how does your personality change? Do you feel confident, shy, serious, or completely different from your normal self? Your comment might help another learner feel understood and less alone in this journey. Thank you for watching this lesson with full attention and patience. I truly appreciate your time and effort in learning English. I'll see you in the next lesson.